Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Untold. Today, we're going to meet engineer Asmaa Saleh, and she's going to tell us all about the BIM and how she won the award and how she was the first Kuwaiti to actually study building information modeling.
I'm pretty excited, and of course, she's going to elaborate and tell us more about BIM and so many different things in the civil engineering field, right? So let's take this quick break and get back to Asma.
So we are here with engineer Asmaa Saleh. Asmaa, we're very happy that you're with us, and we want to talk about the BIM and more, of course.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I'm engineer Asmaa Saleh. I have a civil and architectural degree and a master's degree in building information modeling, which is known as BIM. Me explaining BIM from my point of view, maybe some people might want to understand it in a simpler way. I wouldn't go into deep details. Can you imagine going to a car dealer's shop and buying a car without getting a manual with the car to let you know actually what kind of engine or how many horse?
The details.
Yeah. So anyway, did you ever actually buy a car without getting any information about it? No.
I don't think
no.
so, no.
Okay,
really.
so
Not even used cars. Yeah.
exactly.
We have to know the details and everything about that before we purchase that certain item.
Exactly. So why is it when you buy a building, you buy it without knowing anything about the building, without getting any manual with the building, without getting any information about the building?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
you're
because
right,
maybe
you're
we are
right.
used to just,
It's a given.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yes, and that's where all the real estate and design and construction problems begin, when actually at the beginning of any idea being presented on the table, usually, okay, I have this idea that I want to build a mall with this kind of idea, okay, and then they go immediately to designing this idea. But in the BIM process, it's a life cycle that never ends. Now you're gonna ask me, how is it not gonna end? Usually the traditional way, it's design, construction, and then bye-bye, we're done. Okay, but when I'm implementing BIM, it's a huge process where there's more than one stage regarding the project. The first stage is going to be the documentation phase. Second stage is going to be the design stage. Third stage is going to be the construction stage. Fourth stage, and that's the stage that will never end, which is the facility management phase. That's when we actually hand over the project for it to be occupied, and then there has to be another journey after actually delivering the project, which is people are using this building and it needs maintenance.
So that's a lot of and this is a long journey.
It is.
It is a
no,
process.
it's not just a long journey, it's a journey that never ends until the building is actually demolished.
So you're speaking as a civil engineer.
I'm a civil and architectural engineer.
Okay, so architectural. Now, how did you start? Getting
What inspired you to pursue that career?
I was actually 8 years old when my dad bought this piece of land and he wanted to build our new home. So when he went to the engineering firm to design the house, he came back with a printed design, a 3D design, and he gave me the printed paper of our house. And when I saw our house as a printed picture, my passion started, and I started coloring the house.
That's
And
nice. That's so sweet.
I was 8, and then when the construction started, my dad used to always take me on site, and my passion grew even more and more. And I was maybe 9 or about to be 10. That's what I remember. So that's where I actually started my passion. And to be honest, when I was in high school, I did try to change this passion into English
And
lit.
it all happened
Yes.
just by coloring the paper, the piece of paper.
No,
This
no,
is when
it
happened?
started. Yeah, it started.
At that age.
And I used to love coloring
Right.
and drawing. I used to love doing that since I was actually maybe 5 or 6.
Nice.
So, you know, when you see your future home and you're a little kid and you start coloring it, that's where it started. But that wasn't the huge passion, because in high school I did actually I tried changing this passion into English lit. But then when I graduated, that's when I was like, why did I forget about my passion? And then I went back to actually pursuing what I want to do. And it's not just a passion, it's I would call it a passion, a hobby. And then I entered my master's degree in BIM. And actually the passion is progressing, to be honest.
Mashallah.
Yes.
I never imagined myself to be the first Kuwaiti to do anything.
That's an achievement.
It is
It
an
is, and we're
achievement,
very
and,
proud of it.
I am proud of what I
So
did.
we are all proud in this
Yes.
room, definitely.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, and the journey actually is still it's still going. My passion,
Never
And-
ends.
and if-
yes,
yeah,
unending.
yeah.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
unending. And if you don't mind going back to your academic journey, how did it shape your approach to engineering? And what lessons have you carried with you into your professional life?
okay, I wanted to be an architect, to be honest, but entering architecture in uni, it requires a lot of, I wouldn't say rules, yeah, but they do have a lot of hard rules for people to enter architecture, which they actually ask for a portfolio of your designs. And at that time, I didn't even start designing. I wanted to learn how to use designing programs. Anyway, so the closest thing was I did civil and structural engineering here in Kuwait as a diploma for 2 years. And then that was not my passion, but that was the closest. And I didn't want to do the 2-year degree, but I didn't have another option.
Okay.
So I graduated, and then I worked on major projects. And then for 4 years, I told myself, that's it. No, I have a dream and I have a passion, and I need to live this dream. I need it for me. And that's when I actually went to the UK, and I did 2 years to get my bachelor's degree in civil and architectural engineering. And then when I graduated, I got a scholarship to do my master's, and that's when I actually chose to.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're very proud of you, of
Thank
that
you.
journey, of the decisions, you
Yes.
know. It's not easy, you know, when you're, 19, 18, and you're like, okay, I'm going to take this decision, that decision
Yeah.
towards your degree. Now, of course, Asma, you know, Kuwait, we have a lot of engineers. Some of them are friends, our families. And we always have this misconception that we don't know a lot about engineers. We want you, an engineer, to tell us something we don't know about you.
of course, there's a lot of things that people don't know about engineers. One of them is actually developing gray hair. That is one thing.
I did not expect that.
Unexpected answer.
That was beautiful.
And I'm proud of it. And actually, I did get it from actually studying engineering.
Wow.
And it became more and more. No, now gray hair is getting even more and more, and I like it. By the way,
Look nice. Look nice.
thank you. Since I opened my own company, and now the other company is on the way, so there are going to be two companies.
Yeah, so we heard that you established a company within like 8 months, and that's in a
Which
Yeah,
is what,
yeah.
a record.
yes. So can you
Yeah.
elaborate? And
No,
tell us?
actually, I did not establish it in 8 months. No. I decided to leave my job. That was, I think, in 2022. And I decided to be solo. I don't want a job anymore. I want to be my own boss. But then I started as a freelancer, and I only had one house, which was my sister's house. So the journey was 8 months, because it was the first house that I do by myself without actually having other engineers to complete doing the house, designing
So
it.
no team.
So just
No
you.
team.
Just me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just me. Anyway, so in 8 months, I was like, okay, now I need some stable income. What am I gonna do? 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 That's when I told myself, okay, by the way, your dream is to have your own company. Why don't you just go ahead and do that? And actually, in 2 weeks, my company was established.
Wow.
Wow, that's
I got the
amazing.
permit in 1 week.
Who supported you in that?
I can mention names.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was this guy. His name is. He's an engineer, but he's an electrical engineer. Now he has his own company. I went to him and I told him, I don't have a stable income. What am I supposed to do? And then he pushed me into doing it. His name is Engineer Anwar Al-Ayoub. He actually pushed me into doing it, and it was scary. But then
Definitely.
when
it is scary.
yeah, well, when it really happened, all the fear just vanished. And then instead of fear, now I have stress.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always.
It is overwhelming.
It is,
But it's
yeah.
worth it.
It is
Yes,
worth it, yeah,
yeah.
and I love it. And
Worth taking the risk.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
And Asmaa, if you don't mind us talking a little bit, of course, we want to congratulate you on receiving the Woman of Substance Award in
Thank you.
2023. That's an amazing achievement,
Thank you.
actually.
Thank you.
Can you share with us how this recognition has impacted your career and your personal journey?
Who recognized me, of course, is Jamil Arif. Now, Jamil Arif, I don't know if you guys know him because everybody knows Jamil Arif. Jamil Arif, he's the person that actually recognized me, and he told me, I'm going to put you on the cover of my magazine. And he did. That was in September 22, I guess.
Yeah.
22 or 23? Yeah, I think it was in 22. So he actually put me on the cover. And then the awards, the Women of Substance Awards happened, I think, a year later. That's when I actually got a phone call by Jamil telling me that I will be awarded by Maserati. I was one of few women, of course,
Yes.
receiving this award. And I did receive the award. That was in Ramadan
That was
last
very
year.
nice.
That's
Congratulations.
amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And this year I was chosen actually for the awards to be on the panel of
luck.
nomination.
Yeah.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck.
Best
Yeah,
of
Well,
thank you.
Well, let's take a break right now, and then we can get back and ask more questions about your field, Asmaa.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still here with engineer Asmaa Saleh. Asma, we have so many more questions for you. Like, for example, in the realm of engineering, what inspired you to specialize in BIM, as you've mentioned?
That was the last year of my bachelor's when I was so stressed with my dissertation. And that's when I actually had a feeling that I will get the scholarship for my master's. So I started searching for architecture. I wanted to do architecture for my master's degree. But my uni didn't have architecture. Anyway, so I started searching in my uni for master's degrees, but not in engineering. I wanted to specialize in something in the environmental science.
Okay.
I looked for a few. That's when BIM caught my eye, and I was like, I never heard of building information modeling. What is that? And then I went online and I started reading about it. And then I sent an email to the professor in charge of this
Program.
this major. And I got a meeting with him, and then we spoke more about BIM. While we were discussing it, it was clicking in my head. I knew this is the right thing for me. And then I graduated in summer, and I started my master's degree in February, the following February. And then when I started studying BIM, my passion grew even more. Yeah, my passion grew because it wasn't just professors teaching us. No, for 2 semesters, actually, our professors were there. They were teaching us. They gave us the curriculum, but they actually brought people from the construction industry, and they used to give us lectures, and we knew and understood how BIM is actually working in the UK. And now I came back to Kuwait. It was in 2018. But yeah, as I said, I established my company in 2022.
And do you see? Oh, sorry. Do you see, going back to BIM, that it will evolve through the years? This field.
Yeah, it is. It is. Actually, we had a conference 3 weeks ago. It was regarding BIM. It was. Sorry. Sorry.
About evolving,
بقيت
you know, the field. Oh, sorry.
لا قصدي اللي نسقت
Oh, the one who
اللي
organized the
yeah,
event.
thank you for the word. So, okay, I can.
In 3.
أقدر. Okay. So the person organized who organized the conference is Dr. Manal Al-Adwani. She's a friend of mine, and I participated in this conference, and my topic was implementing BIM in seismic engineering. And I'm gonna say what seismic engineering is, because I don't think a lot of people know what it is. It is the earthquake engineering.
We don't have it here. That's why maybe.
That's
We
why
do. No,
We
actually,
do.
what people don't know, and actually most engineers don't know, that the big consultancy firms, they do seismic engineering on towers here in Kuwait. And I did actually work on one of these projects, and
I didn't know about that.
it is a very it's a very innovative project here in Kuwait, because it's the first in Kuwait that has 8 basements underground and 47 floors above ground. And it was epic, to be honest. And yeah, seismic engineering is actually implemented on this project.
Even though we don't have a lot of earthquakes in Kuwait. I mean, it's not an area where.
Actually, actually we as Kuwaitis and actually the expats, nobody knows that actually there are huge earthquakes happening in Kuwait. But what
But we don't
happens?
feel them.
Wow.
No, what happens
You're
where we
serious?
live, what happens is we only feel just a tingle of the earthquake. But in
Alhamdulillah.
deserted areas in Kuwait, and I actually read that on NASA's website, that actually I can't remember which year it is, but there was a huge earthquake happening in Kuwait in a deserted area. But what we felt here in the city
Almost nothing.
was nothing.
Okay, wow. So seismology and the study of earthquakes, you actually do that, but it's not very famous in Kuwait, or do we not know about it?
It's not that it's not famous or nobody knows about it. Structural engineers know about it.
Okay.
The ones that actually work in really high firms in Kuwait, the known engineering firms in Kuwait. Now, not everybody implements seismic engineering on buildings because, as we said before, we don't have a lot of earthquakes occurring in the city of Kuwait. But when it comes to actually designing a tower, no,
We have to take it in
there has
consideration.
to be seismic. The seismic analysis has to be implemented.
Even though we don't
in
feel
design.
the earthquakes, but just for the safety measures.
For it's not seismic engineering. Actually, it's not just regarding earthquakes. It actually, if the building is actually let's say a seismic system in it, it will even help in wind forces. It's not just it's any force that will happen to the building, but the focus is on seismic. It's because a lot of earthquakes around the world has actually caused a lot of
More than the wind power. So if the
It is-
building,
it is
It's affected
it is
by-
wind, it is first of all earthquakes, wind, and
natural
floods,
disaster.
as in the tsunami. How did the tsunami occur? It was actually an earthquake occurring in the
In the
Pacific Ocean that
Yeah.
actually made the tsunami happen in Japan. And to be honest, yes, here in Kuwait, we are actually designing these seismic systems in the building, and we are actually building them because even what happened last year in Morocco, nobody actually thought that the country of Morocco one day is going to have an earthquake.
Yes.
And
It was bizarre,
and
yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, people should take more precautions when they're actually designing towers.
yes, in Kuwait.
All, not just in Kuwait, all over the world.
world,
Even if
definitely,
it's
yes.
not a country prone to earthquakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you seem to have knowledge about the seismic engineering. How does this relate to BIM, and why did you choose BIM over the seismic engineering?
Now, seismic engineering did not enter BIM since the beginning of actually introducing BIM in the design and construction industry. It was just recently, 2 or 3 years ago, it was actually introduced to be entering the BIM process. They used to do it the traditional way, even if the project has a BIM process going through it. But the seismic engineering used to be done on the design the traditional way. But when we actually introduced it to BIM, no, that's actually when we started doing it faster, because now we have let's say it is more technical when it comes to seismic engineering in BIM. It is more technical than actually the whole process of it. Now, the outcome of implementing it through BIM is it is becoming faster to do the calculations. The calculations are actually accurate. And then you have actually special, let's say, systems inside these software applications that we use for seismic engineering, where actually if you already designed the architectural 3D model of the building, and you put it in this let's say seismic, I wouldn't call it a seismic application, let's say in this special software application,
Right.
I have already specified what are the seismic systems that we use in seismic engineering. Now, I don't need to do a lot of calculations. I just need to click every...
It made your life easier.
Exactly.
All right.
You just need to click every seismic system to know which seismic system is actually gonna fit the building
This
that you
model,
design.
okay.
Basically,
Yes.
in your experience, like what role does the technology played
Exactly.
in engineering
Exactly.
and in the future engineering? What do you think?
Of course, in the future, when we reach, let's say, seismic engineering in BIM, when we reach the construction phase of this project, of course, there will be other outcomes, but still, in the BIM process, this stage still nobody has actually reached it through seismic engineering and BIM.
Asma, also, when we ask people about their career choices, they go like, okay, this helps me with my passion and all. What about the ethical reason behind it? Now that you are an expert in BIM and you have won awards, how do you see this as helping people, and how does it help you as Asma?
Let's take governmental projects as an example. If I'm implementing BIM on governmental projects, how will I help this project? First of all, BIM will help in actually not making the budget exceed. No, actually, it's gonna minimize the budget. Yes, because I will be doing calculations to actually give, I wouldn't say 100% accurate material bill of quantities, let's say, but it's gonna be 99% close to accuracy.
Okay, so when we talk about buildings, do you have any tips or pieces of advice for those who want to build?
Yes, especially governmental residential projects. My advice is gonna be, take it easy. Don't choose contractors from the street. Choose a company. Always choose a company, because you're gonna guarantee your rights with the company. Don't choose cheap materials. Build the house and then finish the house slowly, because most of let's say most of the citizens who are actually building in these governmental areas, they have loans, they have only salaries. Some of them actually did save money for this day, but some of them didn't. I would say build your house, and then when you reach the finishing level, do it slowly. Every month, take a few from your salary and do it slowly. But don't go for contractors from the street, because they're cheaper, and don't go for cheaper
So go for quality.
materials.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Asma. And like before we wrap the episode, of course, everyone have someone supports them in their field and their
Yeah.
career. So
Yes.
can you elaborate and tell us who was your number one support in this journey?
Of course, I'm gonna say a few names. My first support was my dad and my mom. May she rest in peace. They were my bigger supporters. And then, of course, the country supported me when actually they paid for my scholarship to do my bachelor's and my master's degree in the UK. And then when I came back, of course, my sisters and brothers, they are huge supporters always with whatever I want to do with my career. And then when I entered the business industry, of course, I have my partner, engineer Hayal Khashram. Of course, me and her are supporting each other, especially in construction.
That's
And we
amazing.
do complete each other. And we are doing amazing jobs actually in construction together. And I think we wouldn't have done this great job if we were working solo.
That's
We
amazing.
did it together, yeah,
Yeah.
and we do actually support each other a lot with our construction journey.
Wow, that's beautiful.
That's very nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
We want to thank, of course, Engineer Hayal Khashram and for helping you and you helping her, of
Yes.
course.
Definitely
And,
all the other names that
yes,
you mentioned,
and
your
all
family.
the other names.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
We want to thank you, Engineer Asmaa. This has been lovely, and even though we still have a lot to learn
Yeah.
from you and to know about you, you've given us an informative interview. So thank you.
It was really interesting, and I'm really glad that you hosted me on your show. And I'm hoping for great success for all of us
Inshallah.
in the upcoming years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, this is all the time that we have for this episode. Dej, I really wanted Asma to talk more, and I wanted more of this episode's time because I think it was very informative. When she started talking about that we have earthquakes in Kuwait, I was blown away.
Yeah, that
I
was, that
didn't
was
know.
actually shocking.
Yes.
That was definitely shocking. I didn't know about that. I mean, I know that we had earthquakes, but like not as much as she mentioned.
Not as
like,
frequent, yeah.
Yes. So I experienced actually an earthquake like this year actually in Japan. I was
Yes.
there. It was huge.
We knew about that. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it was scary, and yeah, like the fact that when she mentioned that, and I just imagined that the same thing happening
Related,
here.
yeah.
God forbid, but yes, definitely we have to be cautious about that. And I'm glad that we take care of these things, even though that we don't know about it, but they
Yes.
do know.
They do know
Yeah.
about it, and that's why I think we need another episode with Engineer Asma. I still have a lot of questions to ask her.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, but that was an informative interview. Yeah. Dear viewers, we were very happy to host Engineer Asma Saleh, and we hope that she enjoyed the interview as much as we did, and we hope you enjoyed it as well. And we will see you on another episode of The Untold.
All right. Thank you and goodbye.